What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Saturday. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. We do have a mild amount of red across the board. I mean, I say mild in the sense that we have a lot of red, but it's not really major percentage losses. Obviously, the interesting thing is we have both XRP and XLM up in the same day. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is just totally chilling here after that dump. I mean, we've literally just been kind of going sideways now for a couple days. If we have a look at the market, what's interesting is Bitcoin dominance really hasn't moved in the past 2 days. Usually when we have these types of crazy price swings, especially with the overall market cap in general, usually see a bigger move in Bitcoin, but you really didn't this time, which is weird, a little bit weird. But then again, XRP is also number 2. That's a little bit weird. We're not really used to that. So it's just kind of getting used to all this stuff that's been going on recently. Obviously, Bitcoin is sitting around $5,550. If we look at the biggest gainers of the day, we have Factom up. Now, there was some news yesterday, and I have some more news today, so stick around for that. Insight Chain, which I'm not 100% too familiar with. Steam, Huobi Token, Maker, Otum, Vechain, USD Coin, Bytum, and Elastos are all actually up today. Interestingly enough, Bitcoin Cash, which is what everyone's been talking about, is actually currently sitting at its annual low. So this is the lowest that it's been all year. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing out there in the Bitcoin Cash camp? So, yeah, I mean, that's basically the price. Now, obviously, guys, everywhere we go, we are seeing all of the negative news, articles everywhere talking about this and that, and is crypto dead? The SEC's cracking down. Basic attention token fell after Coinbase listing. Jihan Wu lost his position, but there is some positivity still in the space. A lot of people are asking, is Bitcoin still a good investment? Is it safe? Should I get involved? Well, I'm not a financial advisor. Nobody really can tell you when the best time to get in would be. However, crazy enough, we still have Tom Lee from Fundstrat saying that, first, he said that we would have a $25,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. He's recently become a little bit conservative about that, and he's pulled back to 15,000. So that's still a pretty crazy price prediction considering that we're sitting at 5,500 currently. It is the middle of November. We only have a month and a half left. So do you guys think that it's possible for Bitcoin to literally move up $10,000 roughly in a month and a half? Now, I'm actually not going to say it's not possible because last year we actually had that major run up only in about a month, from around that 6K mark all the way up to almost 20K, with the majority of the price action being within a 3-week period. So it is possible, but, given the way things have felt lately, that would be quite insane. Now, he goes on to say that he thinks that the key issue was that it was Bitcoin's break-even point. Now, this refers to mining, okay? He says, for example, for Bitmain's flagship S9 Antminer, the level is down to $7,000 from an estimate of $8,000 according to the analyst. So his prediction is that Bitcoin should be around 2.2 times the new break-even price of $7,000, which would put Bitcoin right around $15,000. And he's basing this off of the cost of mining and what's happened previously with price action. He also says that while Bitcoin broke below the psychologically important barrier of $6,000, this has led to a renewed wave of pessimism, as we've seen. Been a lot of pessimism in the space recently. He says, but we believe that the negative swing in sentiment is much worse than the actual fundamental implications. So he's just looking at it from a very realistic approach. Now, he's not the first person to have some really crazy predictions. Let's not forget that he says that by 2021, we could have $125,000 Bitcoin. Obviously, John McAfee all the way at the top, $1 million by 2020, or else he's going to eat his manhood on television. We also have Tyler Winklevoss saying 320K. Jim Cramer agrees 1 million potentially in the future. Obviously, Tim Draper says 250K by 2020. He's also predicting an 80 trillion market cap in 15 years. The interesting thing, though, is if we come all the way to the bottom over here, the actual only 2 American economists, which are Joseph Stiglitz and Kenneth Rogoff, are both calling for a $100, yes, a $100 Bitcoin by the year 2028. So a lot of different predictions here, as you can see. So that's basically that moving forward. But I also wanted to talk about, so we have Dan Morehead from Pantera Capital. Now, he says that disruptive technologies usually earn the title category killers, but in the case of Bitcoin, it is a serial killer. So he says it's because it will disrupt dozens of sectors, with the cryptocurrency already having demonstrated the capacity to potentially turn the tables in some subsectors in the financial industry. So is Bitcoin a good investment? That's what everybody is asking. Well, he says it is here to stay. He says the biggest indicator of Bitcoin's staying power is the high number of individuals using it, that it has now increased by tenfold. 6 or 8 years ago, there was probably about 1 million people on Earth using it, whereas now there are roughly 50 million people that are using it. And it's only been a decade. Now, I know some of you might be saying only 50 million, but think about how long it took people to start using email. I mean, we can go down that route, but for today, let's stick to the fundamentals. He says, additionally, big business has also jumped onto the blockchain and cryptocurrency bandwagon as well. He's talking about multinational corporations. For example, you have IBM. There's just an ad on TV for Walmart saying that they're going to have their lettuce on the blockchain, which I know, starting small, but we got to start somewhere. And stock exchanges doing Bitcoin exchanges. He talks about Fidelity doing a crypto custody. So he thinks that it will reach a new kind of mainstream adoption. Now, before we get on with the show, I want to talk about something very important, and I want you guys to stay with me for this one, okay? I want to talk about this concept called the Lindy effect. Now, I've spoken about this before on the channel, but maybe some of you are new. So the Lindy effect is a concept that the future life expectancy of some non-perishable things like a technology or an idea, or in this case, Bitcoin, is proportional to their current age, so that every additional period of survival implies a longer remaining life expectancy. So basically, in a nutshell, it says the longer something has survived for, there's a higher probability that it will survive longer, right? So the fact that Bitcoin has survived 10 years says that it has a good chance of potentially surviving another 10 years. Now, I want us to look at this chart from Murad Mahmoudov, who had some pretty bearish predictions the other day, which we won't get into. But this is essentially passage of time as the Lindy effect, okay? So you could see currently, here's the market cap going up, the price, and then we have time. So he says currently we are right here. So we've, had digital collectibles, greater security, withstanding social and technical attacks, proving that the system is hard to change. He says we're here. Now, I argue that we're actually somewhere in this green area because, as you can see right here, you have greater perceived protocol reliability, greater liquidity, greater custodial solutions, which are coming right now. These institutional solutions are on their way. We don't know about the ETF yet, but we do know about Bakkt. We do know about Fidelity. So from the time this chart was made, I would say that we're actually no longer in this region. I say that we're somewhere up here, but it has not been reflected by price just yet, but we know that with things like technology, price tends to kind of get ahead of itself when the tech sort of is still being developed, right? You tend to put the carriage in front of the horses. So as you can see, there's so much more to be done here. Once we get reliable store of value, growing network, better price stability, that's a big issue. People can't stand how volatile the markets are. Widespread medium of exchange, even greater price stability, convenient unit of account, finally, full global money. So I just wanted to point out we're still very early, guys. So is Bitcoin a good investment? I'm not a financial advisor, in my opinion. Well, you know where I stand, guys. So anyway, let's really quick just talk about the final leftovers of what happened with the fork, and then let's stop talking about this fork, because I've been talking about this fork all week, guys. So here's the thing, though. Interestingly enough, because the ABC and SV miners are currently willing to mine at a loss right now on their respective chains for ideological reasons, which I think is absolutely insane, a lot of their hash power has switched from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. So actually, yesterday we were talking about, is Bitcoin mining profitable anymore? Well, it turns out that mining Bitcoin is now almost 100% more profitable than mining Bitcoin Cash because so many of them have switched the hash power. Now, I'm not going to lie, I haven't checked it this morning. I'm sure it could have changed since then, but for a while, that was how it basically was. So the other thing too is I just want to point one thing out before we get on, guys. This is so important for you to know this, okay? Considering the uncertainty and confusion of this debacle with all these chains, there's going to be a lot of scammers out there and fishers that are going to try to exploit the situation. So please be careful if people are asking for your private keys or I'm going to help you get your cash or send your Bitcoin Cash here and I'll fork it for you, or these new shady wallets come out. Just be careful. Wait for those that are the official sources. If you're on Coinbase, just be patient. Well, you kind of don't have a choice if you're on Coinbase, but if for some reason you didn't have your coins in an account somewhere where they did it for you, so like say you're holding it on a ledger, okay? Just be careful. That's all I'm saying, guys. Also, speaking about one more thing before we move on, how about the fact that Bitcoin Cash ABC has added a controversial checkpoint? Yes. So is it too centralized? That is now the question. So essentially the checkpoint is basically a line of code that helps protect against block reorganization attacks, which is an attack where a separate chain is essentially mined in secret with a greater hash rate support until it has greater accumulated proof of work, right? So here's the thing. A lot of people are a little bit upset about this, okay? So it's taken to the community. Some of them are a little outraged. So they say that Bitcoin ABC is centralized because of the way that the checkpoint has been added. They also say that Bitcoin ABC isn't adhering to Satoshi's original vision. This is a criticism primarily coming out of the SV camp, but a lot of people are saying this, and also that the location of the checkpoint is problematic given that it's so close to the tip of the blockchain. Now, here's the thing. Checkpoints have been added in the past. They're set there obviously for safety precautions. You know, for example, Gregory Maxwell, he was a former Blockstream CTO. He clarified on a thread in Bitcoin Talk that these checkpoints serve at an additional purpose as well, which is to prevent a DOS attack during initial node syncs. But the Bitcoin Cash SV client, where the code base was forked from Bitcoin Core, includes the original checkpoints core included unchanged. So that's why they're saying that their version is, better or whatever. However, the way older checkpoints were added are in stark contrast to this one. Older checkpoints were added to much older blocks, very deep in the chain, where the checkpoint was added very close to the tip of the blockchain, which is why people are concerned. Usually they don't add it this close, so they're saying, could it be a point of centralization? That's what's going on right now, but despite the controversy, the client still has very little adoption by users and businesses. So even though everyone's freaking out right now, out of the 2,000, Bitcoin Cash nodes, there's only about 52 that are actually upgrading to this client, which represents 2.3%. So it looks like even now there's still more, fighting and not agreeing within what's going on right now. So let's just talk about what's going on with Bitcoin. Lightning Network growth has exploded in the last week. Over 224 BTC is now held on Lightning channel networks. So from $649,000 to over 1.2 million in just under 5 days. Not to mention the fact that they now have over 4,000 nodes on the network. So everything's fine with Bitcoin. I don't know what's going on with Bitcoin Cash. Everything in Bitcoin is just still doing quite well, guys. So yes, let's talk about the SEC. So they dropped this public statement. It's a statement on digital asset securities, issuance, and trading. How is this going to affect you? How is this going to affect me? Well, I know how it's going to affect decentralized exchanges currently, like what we saw happen with Ether Delta. These guys, if you're going to run a decentralized exchange, you're pretty much going to have to register now, unless you're going to go like the total anonymous route, you know what I'm saying? But if there's any public info and we know who you are and everything, there's a good chance these guys are going to come after you if you don't get registered. Also want to talk about the fact that they've taken down 2 crypto startups for illegal ICOs. I have a feeling this is just the beginning, guys. Both Paraguay and another company doing business called AirFox, they were originally registered as Carrier EQ, have reached settlements with the SEC for failure to register their tokens as securities. So it's a crime in the US since 1934 to sell virtually anything that can resemble an investment contract without first registering it with the SEC or applying for an exemption if you don't think it's a security, for example, if you think it's a utility. So now these guys are basically forcing you to have to go through them. And yeah, so basically in a nutshell, both of these guys agreed to pay $250,000 each to take care of it. But SEC Enforcement Co-Director Stephen Pikin believes that its enforcement actions against AirFox and Paragon will help to stimulate the registration of other US-based ICOs in advance of any further non-fraud prosecution. So hopefully these guys will do it so we don't have to deal with it, right? So from now on, if an ICO comes out and they think they might be a security, it might be a good chance to get registered, or if it doesn't, it might just be a good chance to talk to these guys anyway. So they go on to say that by providing investors who purchased securities in these ICOs with the opportunity to be reimbursed and having the issuer register their tokens with the SECs, these orders provide a model for companies that have issued tokens in ICOs to seek to comply with federal security laws. So it looks like these guys are going to be able to get their money back if they want. So yeah, so if ICOs want to run these and they don't want to go through the SEC, and then they probably going to end up getting fined, and then they're probably going to end up having to pay for it too. So we also have this AMA that came out from Charles Hoskinson, guys, kind of getting into some coin news of the day. You know, Charles Hoskinson, he loves to throw these surprise AMAs all the time. And with that being said, we got a little bit of a surprise for you as well. That's right, guys. So we are doing a special community AMA with Charles Hoskinson. It is going to be in our December issue of the Blockchain Brief, and it's totally all about the community. So if you guys want to ask Charles any questions, this is on Twitter, actually. So if you guys want, I'll drop a link below, or you can just go follow me at the Crypto Zombie on Twitter, but I'll leave a link. Go here, go to the Reddit, drop any questions you want, and it'll probably end up making the newsletter. So yeah, and if you guys haven't joined up the newsletter yet, that link is below as well. Also, how freaking cool is this, guys? So crypto.com has gotten the green light for prepaid Visa cards in the US. Probably not in New York State. I'm almost assuming I'm not gonna be allowed to get one. But that being said, I'm still super excited about this. So, you know, obviously a lot of people that have been watching this space lately got a nice surprise finding out that the company will be able to release their prepaid Visa cards much earlier than expected. However, they do say that further details such as US card release date will be announced later. So they have the green light, but they don't have an official release date just yet. I want to talk about something really funny super quick, what happened with Binance. So, you know, CZ, he's the CEO. He was actually referring to an Elon Musk tweet that Elon Musk had posted about listening to Post Malone's song Better Now, which he said he was listening to, but the post accompanied a music label tagged BNB with the, you know, the letter, the ampersand, so to speak. But jokingly, CZ interpreted it as BNB, like the token, and he said, can't help but see the BNB. Good choice, buddy. And the tweet got a lot of people looking at it now that he did that. Somebody even said, to Elon Musk, be the first car maker to accept Bitcoin. And CZ responded also, I'll buy a Tesla if you accept crypto. I typed BNB first, but switched it out. Let's grow the industry. And I mean, if you do look at the Binance coin, it is so much bigger than just a trading, you know, it's not just used for trading fee discounts. I mean, look at all these other things it's integrated with, you know. You have, you can get a loan with Nexo. It works with in the Engine wallet. There's all these different things in here. Metal Pay, Gifto, you can use it for VPN purchasing, for Q-Link. A lot of different things you can do with it. You can buy a house if you want, if you use certain platforms. So yeah, definitely awesome. Also, let's talk about Vechain, which I know there's been a lot of controversy about Vechain lately, but you know, it says right here, H&M's pretty much been getting pretty excited about it lately. So you have Arket, which is a clothing brand and subsidiary of H&M. They say that they are using the blockchain proof of concept to test methods enabling consumers to actively track a product's origin. So actually, if you watched my video last night with OriginTrail, we literally had demos of people being able to track like a teddy bear, track some yogurt back to the farm, and now Vechain is offering the ability to track these products. So they've started with just a wool beanie, just one product. They're just testing it out right now. So basically you just scan the hat and then it'll tell you the history, the traceability, and you can follow it back on the blockchain. So there you go. We also have some news coming out of IOTA. IOTA has recently launched the IOTA Research Council. So basically, it says that they're going to work closely with the research department to set the strategic technological direction, provide academic oversight to IOTA research, assess granting funds to academic partners, and oversee collaboration with academia and other research organizations. So IOTA's been busy. These guys have been very busy in the background during this whole bear market. We also have 0x Protocol. They've launched their Relayer Kit, which is going to simplify 0x integration to add decentralized token trading to a project. The reason why people are really pumped about this is because the kit is able to launch in literally 60 seconds, like a minute flat. So it's super, super fast for these guys that want to set it up. You know, obviously we spoke about the SEC though, so if you're looking to set up these decentralized exchanges, you might want to have a little conversation first, but you know, you do you guys, you do you. Also, I want to talk about the Neo Hackathon winners. So we have Neo Key, What the Hack, Deepfake, Unit 3, and City of Zurich all taking the top spot. So congratulations guys from the Neo community. This is also the other news from Factom. So my Factom wallet, on top of the news that we had yesterday, today they do have Ledger Nano S integration. So that is good news moving forward, guys. And also, I wanted to talk about Mark Cuban, owner of Dallas Mavericks, together with Patrick Brown, CEO of Lympo, have announced the official launch of Lympo, the nation's first blockchain fitness app and the first of its kind that rewards users with crypto tokens holding real monetary value that can be exchanged for premium products within the Lympo shop app. So there you go, guys. You can actually get paid in Lympo to get your sweat on. So let's get pumped, guys. Let's get going. So I also want to talk about something interesting, though. So we do talk about mining, right? The interesting thing is actually in Paraguay, we have the country's economic and debt crisis is expected to end as a result of an increase in the Bitcoin mining activities. So many of the hydroelectric power towns over here they have a little bit of a struggling economy. So now that they've actually started to mine, this is actually boosting the economy. So the homes are expertly connected in an excellent network, and they're mining a bunch of different currencies. So check that out, guys. That's pretty cool. Also, as far as adoption, how about Mythical Games is a next-generation game technology studio. Their focus is online games where players own the assets they develop or acquire in the game. As you guys have seen, blockchain gaming's been huge. There's a reason why Wax Token was still up, you know, when we had that crazy dump. So the company has yet to release any games yet, but they announced today that they have raised $16 million in funding from 5 different venture capital firms, including Galaxy Digital's EOS VC fund and OK Coin as well. So it's made up of former Blizzard, Activision, and Yahoo executives and employees. So the company will now begin building out its first offerings. According to Galaxy Digital CEO and billionaire crypto bull Mike Novogratz, gaming is an item of keen interest to the VC firm. Keep your eyes on blockchain gaming, guys. Keep your eyes on blockchain gaming. Now, we did speak about the Ledger Nano S with Factom. I want to tell you guys, they got these new like holiday colors. It looks very Easter to me, personally. Like, it's very, like, pastel, you know, so they have this orange, pink, green, or blue. The one that I think's really cool, though, is they have a transparent version. That's, like, right up my alley. I don't know about you guys, but I was always like, you ever have that phone as a kid? The one that was, like, see-through that used to win all the time from selling stuff at school? No? Maybe you didn't? Well, I did. So I would go for this one, personally, the see-through one. If you guys are interested, you guys know I love my Ledger Nano S. That's my go-to wallet. I do have a link in the description if you guys want to help support the channel, if you do want to buy one of these. If not, totally cool, guys. Just wanted to let you know that they do have these colors that are out. And if that doesn't make you pumped, well, this is a picture from a taxi in Tokyo that accepts crypto. So that's pretty awesome news moving forward. Just want to say one more time before I go, if you guys want to get in on that Charles Hoskinson interview, ask me anything, please go over to this tweet, check the link, and drop any of your questions below. I mean, we'll probably include most of them if you guys want to get involved. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the Blockchain Brief newsletter yet, you can totally right now. It's absolutely free. You just enter your email address. You don't actually have to enter your name or email, you know. So if you want, go over there. Totally free for the first episode, for the first newsletter. $5 if you want after that, but you don't have to pay or sign up or do any of that. You can just get it for free. So that being said, guys, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to my channel. You guys are freaking amazing. Hope you're having a great weekend wherever you are. Hopefully something positive happens with these markets and all these crazy predictions come true. But if not, guys, like I said, if we go all the way back to the Lindy chart, just remember how early we are, guys, in adoption. And just remember that, you know, you saw it first, you were here first, and we are definitely early pioneers in this space, guys. So seriously, enjoy your weekend. Put the phone down for a while. Stop refreshing the Blockfolio. Go out, enjoy some time with friends and family. And that being said, guys, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, you guys are awesome. If you've been joining the Telegram chat, thank you so much. Pleasure to see you. That being said, my name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and peace out.